is quite catching, you see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start others off. Now the news has come in that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment, right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blooming like roses. Lots of people yawning. Are you yawning yet? The yawn of that one little bug is still spreading. According to latest reports, it is heading across the wide fields through the sleepy night air, across the whole country, toward every which where, and people are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. I've had quite a day. Have you had quite a day? Yeah, I bet. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 biffle-bomb birds are now building their nest. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this big job without making a blunder. But that is their problem, not yours, and not mine. The point is they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Have you brushed your teeth? You better brush your teeth. Y'all know I'm a dental assistant. Brush and floss before you go to bed. Okay, thank you. Up at Herkheimer Falls, where the great river rushes and crashes down crags in great gurgling gushes, the Herkheimer sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. There they are, brushing their teeth. The news just came in from Castle of Krupp that the lights are all out and the drawbridge is up. My drawbridge is drawn, and it's going to stay drawn till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. None of that till the morning. We're going to bed. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. Bed is where more and more people are going. there's nothing much to it. We find out how many. We learn the amount by an audio-teleo-talio count. On a mountain, wow, let's read that one again. An audio-tally-o-tally. An audio-tally-o-tally. Tally-o-tally, tally-o-tally, tally-o-tally. Tally-o-tally count. On a mountain, halfway between Reno and Rome, we have a machine in a plexiglass dome, which listens and looks into everyone's home. Creepy. And whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets a new big ol' ball drop. Our chap counts these balls as they plop in a cup, and that's how we know who is down and who is up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of the sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers Joe and Mo Redzoff have just gone to sleep, and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They've talked about laws, and they've talked about gauze. They've talked about paws, and they've talked about flaws. They've talked quite a lot about old Santa Claus. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you should keep up this sport. It's just fine for the jaws. If you want a good jawline, apparently you should talk in your sleep. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Fen, there's a sleepwalking group which not only walks, but it walks a la hoop. A la hoop. Okay, it walks a la hoop. Okay, anyway. Every night they go miles. Why? They walk to such length they have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So there they are walking with their hoops. And some are eating. So, every so often, one puts down his hoop, stops hooping, and does some quick snooping for soup. That's why they are known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Hoop Snoop Soup Group. Hoop Snoop Snoop Group. Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking, too, are the curious grandals who sleepwalk on hills with assorted-sized candles. The grandals walk nightly in slumbering peace in spite of slight burns from the hot dripping grease. The grandals wear candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. Walking with candles on their heads. Very curious. Now the news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that the Chippendale Mupp has just bitten his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Close your eyes. Close them. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Such nipping sounds silly, but really, it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is the way he makes sure he'll wake up at the right time of day. His tail is so long he won't feel any pain till the nip makes the trip and gets up to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, moose, the Chippendale map, will at last feel the bite and yell ouch and wake up. That's funny. It takes 8 hours for him to feel the bite and the pain. And that pain signal, I guess, has to travel so far along his tail that it takes 8 hours. That's interesting. A Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crocs have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not all sure that I quite understand just how the thing works with that one extra hand. But I do know this clock does one very slick trick. So with ticks in its talker and talks in its ticker, it saves a lot of time and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping. From all that I hear, it's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in the Zweeback Motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, and everyone knows the sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be in the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are tops in this musical sport. The snortiest snorers in all our fair land are Snorter McPhail and his Snort band. This band can snort Dixie and Old Swanee River so loud it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all the boys is McPhail. He snores with his head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snored closer in, they would snore the town down. Lots of noise coming from those snorers. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? 2 very nice Funa Laguna baboona. We've added them into our Who's Asleep count, which has grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A Jed is in bed, and the bed of a Jed is the softest of beds in the world, it is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now on the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. That is a lot of pom-poms. The news has come in from the district of Toft that 2 oft are asleep and they're sleeping aloft. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I'll tell you. I weighed one last week and I found that an oft is so light he weighs -1 pound. Wow. -1 pound. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a goose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. Moose juice and goose juice. Moose juice, 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 goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose, and goose juice, not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So when goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they always fall out of their beds screaming. So, I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should note that the Bumbletub Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bumbletub Creek, except for one night every third or fourth week, when they stop for repairs because their Bumbletubs leak. When they stop, okay. But tonight they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering telling you this. See, they're all good. No leaks there. At the fork of a road in the Vale of Vavode, 5-foot weary salesmen have laid down their load, unsuccessfully trying to sell Zizerzouf seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come, they'll go back to their chore, they'll start on the road, Zizerzoofing once more, but tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore, and that's what the wonderful nighttime is for. Everywhere, creatures have shut off their voices. They have all gone to bed in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft-tuffed barbershop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. It's a lot of sleepers. Sleeper, sleeper, sleeper. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors, in mailboxes, ships, and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fishhook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean has turned off his spout. Every light between here and Farfoodle is out. And now, adding things up, we are way beyond billions. Our Who's Asleep score is now up in the zillions. Zillions of people are now asleep. Zillions of people, and even the animals. 99 zillion, 9 trillion.